Hi you guys, I don't really know how this looks. This is my first time filming like an actual YouTube video with my camera. I actually was able to fit it on my ring light, which I'm really excited about because it's super convenient and nothing is ever convenient for me. I always have to work 10 times harder to get what I want. But hi, I'm so excited to be filming these videos. I'm gonna be filming 3 today about my first trimester, my experience, my personal experience with the first trimester of pregnancy. I also had a lot of questions that you guys had asked me, so I wanna do a first trimester Q&A, a first trimester recap, and a first trimester must-haves and how to survive. This is just my own personal experience with pregnancy so far. I'm sorry, one thing with pregnancy is you are so thirsty all the time. Just a little bit of information in case you are new to me and my channel. I am pregnant. I'm 15 weeks. I was just 15 weeks this past Friday. This is my first pregnancy. I'm 21 years old. I'm a new mom. I have absolutely no idea what I'm getting myself into, which is why I decided I wanted to start documenting every single second of this journey. When I first found out I was pregnant, all I did was watch YouTube moms. That's all I did. I wanted to know what they had to say. I wanted to know their advice. I wanted to know what I was getting myself into from a real life person that I felt like I could relate to. And I found a lot of new first-time young moms, which is relevant to my situation. So I decided that I wanted to do the same thing and help out anyone else who might be in the same position as I am. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on my post notifications because I'm gonna be uploading every single week from now on. I'm trying to do as many updates weekly on my actual pregnancy. My weeks change every single Friday. I also want to branch out with my channel and do a lot of other different types of videos because I did start my channel on the more lifestyle, beauty, fashion videos and stuff like that. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm so excited to have all of you here. Okay, so I just want to get right into it. I have a whole list right in front of me of things that I kept track of during my first trimester. Literally anytime I thought of anything that was relevant or worth talking about or any just like symptom or anything like that, I wrote it down so that I could update it when I made a video like this. So I'm so excited to finally be getting all of this information out into the world and not just in my notebook. If you haven't seen my finding out I'm pregnant, I actually found out live. I recorded my whole reaction. I knew there was a good chance that I could be pregnant. My boyfriend and I were pretty much trying. We weren't using any precautions. So I just knew that it was very possible. I was kind of just waiting for the day. But I had also missed my period a few other times. But anyway, if you haven't seen when I do find out that I'm pregnant, it's really emotional. A lot of people have been telling me that like when they watch it, they cry. So, but it's such a beautiful moment and that's truthfully where it all started. Starting from when I found out I was pregnant, I started feeling sick about a week after that. That's when the morning sickness kicked in, which I still despise so much that it's called morning sickness because I feel like it puts a stigma on the pregnancy sickness, so to speak, and it lasts all day long. For some women, it's just in the morning, but a good percentage of women, it lasts all throughout the day. It's not just the morning. And mine was almost more severe in the evening than it was in the mornings. When I did find out, I was 4 weeks. I'm sorry, I don't know what they're doing above me right now. I'm so over apartment living. We cannot wait to move into a house. Ugh. So when I found out that I was pregnant, I was pretty much exactly 4 weeks. So that would mean that my morning sickness started at week 5. And I was miserable, you guys. This is actually my 3rd pregnancy. I've had 2 miscarriages before this one. I didn't experience any morning sickness with those. I mean, granted, I was only pregnant for about 8 weeks with each of them, but immediately at 5 weeks, right after I found out I was pregnant, I started getting really nauseous. Certain smells would get to me. A lot of the foods that I normally eat, I've always been a breakfast eater and I like don't have any problem waking up and eating right away. But what I normally would eat waking up, I couldn't even think about those foods. Any wrong smell would set me off. I swear I never once threw up, which is incredible, amazing. I can't believe that some women seriously go through feeling sick like that and then puking multiple times a day, multiple days a week. Like I can't imagine that. Props to you. You deserve a freaking medal. I can't even imagine. Like, just feeling nauseous was enough for me. But I would constantly be gagging. We live downtown Portland and we live on a street with a bunch of food trucks. So anytime I'd be outside walking past the food trucks to do anything that I actually have to get done, because it was very rare for me to get out of bed, let me tell you, very, very, very rare in the first trimester. But when I did, and if I was out and about, if I smelled something wrong, people were probably looking at me like, is this girl gonna throw up all over me? Like, it was bad. It was honestly really hard for me to eat well in the first trimester, which I don't know if anyone else has gone through this, but it made me feel so guilty. And it also made me really nervous. I did the most that I could. I did the best that I could. I forced myself to eat sometimes, even though I was gagging while doing it. But it's really hard to eat not crap in your first trimester. I craved a lot of breakfast food. This whole pregnancy, I've been craving breakfast food. Like, we have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner multiple times a week. I'm talking like hash browns and sausage and greasy, fattening foods, pancakes, waffles. I just wasn't eating enough protein. I probably wasn't getting enough nutrients. But what saved me was the fact that I wanted fruit all the time. So I think that's where I got a lot of my nutrients, was from the fruit. I did have something that helped me, and I'm gonna put this in my how to survive / must-haves video. I would make a lot of smoothies, and I would always just have spinach in my fridge so that I could just throw a handful, because the spinach has a lot of nutrients that you and your baby needs, especially in the first trimester during like the most essential development moments. Spinach has a lot of folic acid in it, which is like really important for your baby's development. It was tough and it was a struggle, and it made me feel really guilty. My hormones were I feel like they've leveled out a little bit towards my second trimester. I feel a hell of a lot better. I feel like a normal human being at this point. Don't get me wrong, there's moments, of course, I'm still pregnant, but the first trimester was just rough. I haven't felt like that since I was a teenager. My hormones were raging. Every single emotion that I felt was heightened by a million. I really just don't know how I got through it. Thank God that I have such a supportive boyfriend and partner, because if he wasn't willing to be so patient and nurturing and loving with me, like I don't even know. I don't know. My mind is so all over the place. Pregnancy brain is a real thing. Sometimes when I talk, I'm like, McKayla, spit it out. What do you need to say? And sometimes I just make no sense at all. And a lot of the time I repeat myself. So I'm so sorry if I do that in this video or any of the videos to come. I'm trying. That's why I have a whole list in front of me, because my pregnancy brain. And I heard that it only gets worse and worse and worse. So bear with me, people. Also, I wanted to touch on the fact that my morning sickness only lasted, like consistently lasted every single day from week 5 to about week 10. And then it pretty much subsided. I still wake up some mornings feeling like, oh my God, but I think that it's because my stomach is just empty and I need to eat. Like, if I wake up and I feel like that and I eat something small, it goes away. So, but it still comes at night sometimes, but hardly ever. Like, I'm not kidding, I really do feel like a new person. So it's always temporary, ladies. Don't stress yourself out too much. Don't be too hard on yourself either, because it's gonna get better. I remember finding out I was pregnant and like keeping track of every single Friday when I would change weeks, and it seemed like time was taking forever. The first few weeks of being pregnant is so new. Time doesn't seem to go by fast or fast enough. But now that I'm in the second trimester, I can't believe how quickly it went by. I almost don't like it because I only have about 25 weeks to go. I want time to slow down a little bit just so I can enjoy the second trimester, because to me this is like the golden stage. I'm not too big. My belly is finally starting to show a little bit. I'm not feeling sick every day. I finally have some of my motivation back. I'm not like huge. I'm not waddling around. I don't have like huge pains yet. I want time to slow down a little bit, and I want to stay as long as I possibly can in the second trimester and enjoy it as much as I can. Another thing is I've been drinking so much water. It's like normal to me now, but in the first trimester I was like, why am I drinking? So I couldn't believe, I've never drank that much water before. And before I found out that you're like pretty much not supposed to drink out of like regular plastic water bottles, you should really be drinking out of BPA free water bottles. I was drinking like, you know, the big, like the huge Fiji water bottles, I think are like 3 liters or 2.5 liters or something like that. I would drink like 4 or 5 of those a day, which is also why I feel like I had to pee all the time. They say that you have to pee a lot more often when you do find out you're pregnant, which is so true. I feel like we had never gone through that much toilet paper before, ever. But I also think it's because I was drinking so much water. Ooh, something else that I like to do with my water, this is just a side note, I'll put like lemon and cucumber and mint, or I'll put strawberries and blueberries in my water one day. If you don't like drinking that much water, it's really easy for you to get dehydrated. So if you don't like water, I know there's some people who hate drinking water, just add some fruit in it and I promise you it tastes so good. Something else that happened to me in my first trimester, like I mentioned before, I did have 2 miscarriages before this pregnancy. I have 2 points to cover with this topic, but the first one being that this pregnancy compared to those previous pregnancies are so beyond different. I didn't even feel pregnant. Sometimes it's so hard to explain a feeling. It's like trying to describe what a color looks like. I know that I'm feeling a certain way about it, but I don't know how to express it. It's also such a sensitive subject for me because like that was probably one of the hardest things I've had to go through. It's just a miracle to me. And I also knew from the beginning with this pregnancy, as soon as I found out, I knew it was real. I knew that this was the moment that I was truly actually going to become a mom. And oh my god, it makes me want to cry. I really am so thankful. Maybe if you have had a miscarriage before and then you did carry a full term and had a completely healthy, normal baby, I'm sure that you can relate to what I'm saying when I say how different the feeling is. Yes, with my first 2 pregnancies, I found out that I was pregnant. I went through that whole emotional stage and roller coaster, and I knew that I was pregnant, but I never once pictured me holding my baby. It's just a huge difference. I feel like you know in your heart and your soul, deep down, when something is right, especially a pregnancy. I'm really, really in tune with my body. I just knew this time. As soon as I picked up the pregnancy test and I saw that it was positive, I freaked out because I knew. And of course I was still so scared, rightfully so, because I had gone through that twice before and I didn't want to go through that again. But I also knew in my heart that this was the time. This is the right time. This baby chose me to be their mother. And now here we are in the 2nd trimester, 15 weeks pregnant, and the baby is so healthy. The baby's doing so good. I'm doing so good. Yeah, sorry, that was a little tangent. I just wanted to explain the difference because I've had a lot of people ask me. And then the other point that I wanted to cover on that topic, the miscarriage topic, was the fact that we had a miscarriage scare this pregnancy. I don't even know if you could really call it a miscarriage scare, but to me, in my mind, it was, because I did start spotting around week 6, which was 2 weeks after I found out that I was pregnant. I was already so nervous about miscarrying. I was panicking. I was freaking out. The way that it all went down was a lot different this time around. My blood, sorry if this is TMI. If this is TMI for you, like just skip forward about, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute from here, because I want to explain. You guys, that just scared me so bad. I really don't know how that just happened. I just got done watching one of Erin Williams' vlogs talking about like the paranormal activity going on in her house, and oh my god, like I have goosebumps, actual goosebumps. That scared me so bad. I did not like that. The spatula just like flew off my kitchen counter. Whatever, we're gonna ignore it. Okay, so when I miscarried, as soon as I noticed the blood, it was pretty much bright red. It wasn't like a dark color and it wasn't like a light color. So that was like the red flag from the very beginning with those 2. And this time it was light pink to pale red. So there was still redness, which freaked me out. I waited the night out. I didn't have any cramping, so I wanted to wait and see if I woke up in the morning and there was still blood. I started bleeding around 8 or 9 p.m. at night. I woke up the next morning and there was no new blood. There was, when I wiped, it was pretty much just, you could tell it was left over. But I also started having like bloody discharge, but it wasn't like bright red again. It was more of like a pale pinkish brown. And everything I was reading, which, because of course when that happened I started googling every possible thing I could, and a lot of what I was reading was saying like not to worry, that a lot of women experience this as well during their 6-week mark, and then they went full term and had healthy normal babies. So I was panicking, don't get me wrong, I was panicking, but I was also trying to contain myself and stay very calm, because it's just not good to be stressing for the baby anyway. So I just waited, and when I woke up the next morning, I made an appointment at Planned Parenthood because my insurance still hadn't been accepted yet. They did an ultrasound and there was a heartbeat. They put me at exactly 6 weeks that day, which I thought that I was 7 weeks that day, just basing it off of my last period and just when I thought I conceived. But I guess I was a week off, and I saw the little teeny tiny embryo on the ultrasound and the little teeny tiny heartbeat. So at that point, it's still pretty much an embryo in like the little sac. It's not an actual fetus yet. But that was when I knew, like, this baby is my miracle, here to stay. This is it. This is the one. That was when I really truly started connecting with my baby too. So that was a huge moment for me. I have goosebumps. Then I went to, my insurance finally got accepted, so I got to go to my second appointment at my actual OB. I went when I was 12 weeks and 4 days. We got my 12-week ultrasound pictures, and the baby was completely healthy, which was such a relief. Baby was active, moving. When we first saw the ultrasound, when she first put the wand on my belly, the baby's hand was up, like waving to us like, hey guys. It was so cute. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. My next appointment is November 20th, which is about a week and some days, about like 9 days away. At that point, I will be 16 weeks pregnant. Wait, let me see. I'm so bad at doing. I think I'll be 16 weeks and 4 days at that appointment. That'll be a big difference. Like the ultrasound from 12 weeks to 16 weeks is kind of a big jump. So I'm really excited to see what our baby looks like at this point. Another thing, when I first found out I was pregnant, I downloaded every single pregnancy app, every single expecting app, every single one. I found 2 that I actually, like, I still check from time to time. But I also noticed that in the first trimester, I was checking religiously every single week, every Friday when my weeks changed. And it was pretty relatable, pretty spot on to my symptoms and how I was feeling and stuff like that. But as soon as I hit my second trimester, like, they just didn't apply to me anymore. It just wasn't relatable, and I just feel like, how can they, I don't know, I just feel like they're not accurate. So I don't really check them anymore. I get on this one called Ovia, because it shows you, let me show you. It's really cool actually. It has like a handprint and a footprint of what your baby's hand and foot, like what size it'll be at 9 months when the baby arrives. So like, sorry, my phone is so cracked, please don't laugh at me. But see, it shows you, sorry, my ring light gives a glare. But so that's the handprint at 9 months, and that's what the handprint is of my baby right now compared to that. Which I think is like so cool that they do that. And I know it's probably not like super accurate, but they also have the footprint. So I just think it's so neat. So that's the one that I check sometimes. There were so many changes happening every single week in the first trimester, because that's when your baby's doing the most developing. But now the baby is pretty much completely developed, and now it just has to grow. I hate so much that I have to continue to say, call it, and just baby. Like, we will find out December 22nd if we're having a boy or a girl. I'm so convinced, and everyone else in my life is so convinced, especially all of you. Like, all of you think that I'm having a girl. I think that a lot of you think that I'm having a girl because you want me to have a girl, because like, it would just, it would make sense for McKayla to have a girl. If you know me, if you know anything about me, that would just make sense. I don't think that I'm having a girl because I want a girl. Like, I truly, in my soul, from the second I found out that I was pregnant, I don't want to say I knew because then I'll look crazy if it turns out to be a boy, but I just knew in my heart that it was a girl. Same with my boyfriend. Like, we both just, we already have a girl name picked out. Well, we're pretty sure. The only names that we have are pretty much for girls anyway. And I've already bought a bunch of girl stuff, which, I don't know. We're gonna be doing a gender reveal on December 22nd, which isn't that far away. That's next month, so yeah, we'll find out then. But mark my words, I really believe it's a girl in there. I'm trying to think of what else I need to include. I didn't have a belly pretty much at all in my first trimester. I thought that I did because obviously it's like super exciting and you want to be showing like as soon as you possibly think that you can be showing. But I noticed that my belly that I thought that I had was either bloating or it was like if you feel your lower abdomen in your first trimester underneath your belly button, my stomach was still super flat at the top, and then like right underneath my belly button there was a little bulge, and it wasn't just like a fat bulge. If you would rub it, you could feel that there was something that was like making it firm and bulge out like that. So that was when, I think it was week 11, I want to say 11 or 12, when I started feeling that bulge. And I didn't just feel fat anymore because I started gaining weight in my stomach almost immediately when I found out I was pregnant. But I didn't feel that bulge until like 11 or 12 weeks. But now I like actually have a little baby tummy. It's still not like noticeable. It's only noticeable to my boyfriend and I because we know like what I look like when I'm not pregnant. Yeah, so your first trimester, the baby is so small. If your stomach does start showing in your first trimester, it's not the baby, it's your uterus expanding and everything just kind of shifting and making room for the baby in there. The first trimester is just hard in general because you feel like you're so sick all the time and you have nothing to show for it, and it's just like, oh my god, it's just a pain. You feel hungover every single day. You have like a lingering, nauseating feeling, and it just sucks. It just freaking sucks. But I'm just here to tell you that it really does pass, and it goes by so fast. So don't wish it away. Don't wish it away for sure, because I don't want to say I'll go back to my first trimester, but I just want time to slow down a little bit. Well, I kind of feel like that is the majority of what went on in my first trimester. Morning sickness, food aversions, food cravings, weird food cravings. My hormones were raging like uncontrollably like a freaking teenager. So that's what you have to look forward to in your first trimester. It's also so exciting. Congratulations to any of you who are in your first trimester, just found out you're pregnant. If you're in the same spot I am right now, any expecting mom, congratulations. This is the most beautiful thing you will ever experience in your entire life. It's such a special thing that we get to go through and experience, and that's why I also try to be as positive as possible. We really are blessed to be able to go through something like this, and to grow and create a human life is so extremely, it leaves me speechless. It really does. So stay strong, hang in there. It's not gonna last forever. And can you imagine the feeling, finally, of when your baby actually comes out into this world and they lay him or her on your chest. Anytime I have a bad moment, anytime I have any kind of excruciating pain or anything, any negative emotion, I just remind myself how amazing this really truly is. And I always try to picture meeting my baby for the first time. That always helps me, like always. That's it, you guys. That's all I have for my personal first trimester experience. I'm so excited to have all of you guys with me. I think it's so incredibly cool to have all of you following me on this journey. I'm so excited to share this journey with you guys every single second, every moment, every anything. I'm gonna try and capture it all. I hope this video helped you in any possible way that it could. I know that this is just me talking about my personal experience, experience, but I found these videos the most relatable and the most helpful when I first found out I was pregnant. And I was also just so curious to know like what everyone else's experience were like. So thanks for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe and turn on my post notifications. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more, also leave a comment. I want to talk about anything under the sun, pregnancy related, not pregnancy related, whatever you want to talk about. Also follow me on Instagram. All of my links will be left down in the description box. I love you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.